All right. Yeah, weren't we all? But unfortunately, they'll take some vision later. We all got Mitch on screen there with a bit less world news. Cool. Well, thanks for jumping on. Scotty, do you want to get us underway?
Sure. Mitch, what got you back to playing BBL, mate, after a fair gap? Was it just not easier, but a lighter schedule through January, February this year?
Pretty well, yeah. I've got no cricket scheduled between the fifth test and the IPL at this stage. So, an opportunity to play some BBL cricket. I've obviously been a part of some small part of the Sixers throughout the 15 seasons. So, nice to return to potentially a playing role. Obviously, we've got the 5 test matches to focus on first and foremost, but post that, it's obviously my intention to be available to play some part if called upon.
I was going to say, man. Oh, sorry. No, pass it on. I'll come back later.
Dan?
G'day, Mitch. Do you believe that you're right to go to play all 5 tests? And how is the body feeling? And I suppose, as an extension, what's your reaction to sort of the situation with Pat and his body at the moment?
I think I should be asking you guys about Pat because you guys seem to have more knowledge about it than any of the players. So, how's Pat going?
Could be a bit of trouble, I reckon, but
I don't know, I wake up and keep seeing headlines from you blokes. So, I can only speak for myself, but it's been a nice sort of 8 weeks since the West Indies to spend some time on the body. Barring a couple of little niggles, I was in pretty decent nick at the back end of a stretch of cricket. So nice to just invest a bit of extra time back into the body ahead of the summer. And obviously we get on a plane next week to Perth to get ready for the ODIs. So yeah, feeling a good spot. Obviously haven't played any cricket between the West Indies and sitting here today. So having the ODI series, then look to play a Shield game into the Test series is a decent plan heading into a very important summer. So it's always our intention to be available and play 5 tests. Obviously, we'll see how the summer pans out, but that certainly is the intention of myself.
Got Mark?
G'day, Mitch. Yeah, David Mark here from the ABC. Look, notwithstanding what you just said, obviously want to talk about you, but just regarding Pat, obviously he's been at training, he's been at the gym, he's been rehabbing. Have you had discussions with him about how he's going and how he's feeling?
He's pretty level. He's been floating around a little bit. I've been sort of transitioned back into Blues training, so for me, it's I've sort of made the transition from a large physical block in the gym and running, and now moved into skills. So a lot of my time's now with the Blues around skill sessions and out bowling. Obviously, Pat is still in his program and has obviously got a few sets of eyes on him in his return. So he's in good spirits. He's ultra positive as always, and there's still some weeks to go before we get to Perth for the test prep. So we'll see where that lands. He's obviously in good spirits and hopefully we see a lot of him through the summer, and we'll see where we get to in Perth.
And it was my understanding that you and Josh and Pat, the intention was to play the last Shield match before the first test. Is that still the case?
For me, it is, yep. I haven't sat in any scheduling programs or anything like that, so that is my intention to play. I can't speak on any other players. My program as it sits is obviously the ODI series against India. I don't play T20 cricket anymore, so that is a Shield game here at the SCG against Victoria, and then obviously Perth for the prep for the first test. All going well.
Thanks, David. Chloe?
Hey Mitch, hope you're well, mate. Sorry, I think we're going a bit all over the place, but just on the Big Bash, how big do you reckon the season's going to be? Because we have Ravi Ashwin coming out, we have Babar Azam coming out. It's shaping to be a pretty big season.
Thanks for asking about the BBL, considering I'm sitting in Magenta. No, look, it's been a fantastic tournament to have played bits and pieces of. Obviously, last year, watching on, it was a fantastic season. I think the response from the crowd, or the crowds, the people turning out to games, eyeballs on screens, the quality of cricket, what a product. So, yeah, this year shapes to be even bigger. As you say, Ravi's coming over to play for the Thunder. Another chance to play against him, I guess, if I can pull the Magenta on and play against the Thunder. But no, it's shaping up to be a fantastic summer of cricket all round, particularly the Big Bash with you sort of running around the back end of the Ashes, and then so the finals heading into a T20 World Cup. So there'll be plenty of players looking to impress. No doubt we'll see a lot of young talent come through, and hopefully I can play a part in Magenta this year.
Thanks, Chloe. Louis?
Hey, Mitch. Sorry, this is a test question, mate. Just thinking generally about the possibility of Pat missing a test or two this summer. Like, you guys have done it pretty well, right? Like, from the captaincy point of view, in terms of Steve taking over. Can you just explain maybe why that's worked in terms of such a smooth transition, and what Steve brings as a captain that might be different to Pat?
Well, apart from the fact that Steve's done a lot of it, I think it's a pretty easy transition for him, and then particularly around with Pat leading, he and Steve have worked really well in partnership during Test matches, around Test matches, in prep for Test matches. So I think Steve still has been a great sounding board for Pat throughout his tenure as captain as well. And then for a lot of us players, I guess that is another positive of the experience we have in our group, is the fact that we've got a group of us that have played cricket with Steve as captain anyway, and then the times that he's filled in over the last few seasons for Pat, whether it be for personal reasons, for illness, or for injury, it's an easy transition for Steve. Certainly it seems that way from. I'm not going to go and ask him about it, but yeah, he's obviously a very experienced cricket brain and thinks heavily about the game, and we have a team of experienced guys that can give their 2 cents worth along the journey as well.
Thanks, Louis. Tommy?
Hey, Mitch. There's a report this week around Trav and Paddy Cummins being offered big contracts to basically play franchise cricket all year round and sort of give up their international careers. What do you make of that situation at the moment? Obviously, you've played abroad. Do you see that as a bit of a risk moving forward, that Indian franchises will try and pick off Aussie guys, and sort of international cricket might not become as prominent with the big money or not?
I don't know. You'll have to ask those two if there's any truth to it or not. I mean, there's obviously going to be that discussion with how, I guess, multiple or companies are holding multiple teams across leagues these days, and the discussion of, I guess the noise is always going to be there, and people hold different priorities. For me, Test cricket's always been the priority, so that's not going to change now that I'm not playing T20 cricket and playing franchise cricket for the first time in a while. But the landscape's going to change one way or the other, whether guys might wake up and have different aspirations of playing for the same franchise across 4 different leagues, and it's not for me to say what's right or wrong. As far as I'm concerned, Test cricket is the pinnacle and will remain that way for me, and I'll play as long as I can with that mindset.
Thanks, Tom. Back to Scott.
Hey, Mitch, just wondering, drawing on your experience back and coming back from injuries and whatnot, how long would you want, if you've had a layoff from an injury, to be bowling before you go into playing a Test match for Australia, or a lengthy summer for Australia?
How long's a piece of string? I think it changes so much for different people. I mean, this last 2 months is probably the longest I've ever had where I haven't been injured to have a chance to give my body a rest and have some sort of a pre-season in a way, and actually invest some time in my body, and I feel like I'm in a good spot returning to cricket. So that changes year on year with the schedule, and with guys playing 3 formats and the schedule being what it is, yeah, whether it's one Shield game, whether it's weeks and weeks of bowling, I think one thing with having spent so much time with Josh and Pat and myself and Scotty, we all prepare slightly differently. We all feel like we need different things. I feel like at times I need more or bowl more around preparation stuff, whether it be training or after layoffs. I found one thing playing with Pat and being close with Pat, he doesn't need much. Whether it's he bowl 3 warm-up balls and first over the game he's on the money. He's he just knows when to switch on or how to switch on really quickly. So whatever it looks like for him in his prep, it's going to be certainly different to what mine feels and looks like. And that comes with experience and age, and no doubt we'll all, not just myself or Pat, we'll all in the squad be preparing slightly differently, playing different games or amounts of cricket heading into the very important Test series.
And just on the depth of the fast bowling in Australia at the moment, like Australia hasn't had to draw on it a lot beyond obviously the 4 of you guys in recent years. Where do you reckon it is at the moment? And if required, do you feel like there's guys ready to come up and debut in Test cricket? I guess Nest come back or whatever.
Yeah, I certainly think there's enough experience around Australian cricket. There's obviously guys at different levels, different age groups, guys that have been in and around the squad a fair bit. You mentioned Nest there. Sean Abbott's been around the squad for a while. There's a couple of niggles floating around and a couple of guys injured, but I still think the ability's there, and it's times like these you might unearth someone. I know there's been a little bit of noise around Jai Richardson coming back from his shoulder as well. We know what skills he has. They've got guys that have been away in the Australia A Tour. We've just had a round of Sheffield Shield cricket with 3 more to come. So the landscape can change in 3 Shield games. As it sits, Josh, Pat, Scotty and I have been preparing for the summer to come in the red ball game. I think the depth's there. We've obviously got different age groups, I guess, across the depth. Obviously, we've got a fairly talented group of 19, 20-year-old bowlers, and then a lot of depth from there up to us that have played a lot of domestic cricket. As I said, guys that have been around the Australian squads for some time, and I think we've got a good group of guys that, if called upon, will take that opportunity with 2 hands.
Hey, Scotty, we've got Erin, I think, was next.
Hi, Mitch, Erin from the ABC here. I'm just wondering, with the top order batters still, yet to be locked in and with Pat making his way back from injury, is there any concern about being a bit too unsettled heading into the Ashes and not really knowing who you'll be lining up with?
Not really. I've still got a Perth next week to play an ODI and play a Shield game, so it's none of my concern. Obviously we've got selectors for that, and as I said, we've still got 3 more rounds of Shield cricket, so you say uncertainty, but I wouldn't have in my 15 years, I don't reckon we've picked an Ashes squad or a Test squad this far out from a series. So just because England have selected it 4 weeks ago doesn't mean we have to do the same this week. So it's a great opportunity for guys to keep putting their hand up in Shield cricket. And I'm sure the selectors will have an idea of guys that are in the frame or guys that they want to pick. And for me, it's just getting ready to bowl.
Thanks, Erin. Nicole?
Hey, Mitch. Just back to Scott's point about depth. I think you've called Scott Boland the unluckiest man to wear a baggy green before. How excited are you for the opportunity that this opens up for him?
Yeah, I mean, with obviously the bit of question mark around Pat, we've always taken, I think, certainly in recent years, it's always been a squad mentality or a group mentality in terms of particularly the bowlers and knowing how much hard work it is, and obviously we're not a young group anymore, but I think everyone knows the skills and the ability of Scott Boland, and whether you've seen him light up the MCG or you've seen him for years do it for Victoria, we know the skill set that he offers. So whichever combination of bowlers we go with across the 5 tests, if that means as I say, any combination. But yeah, Scotty, he's such a fantastic character. I think his ability's amazing, and quite rightly, he's a test match winning bowler. So yeah, if he's called upon for a lot more Test cricket, what a man. They'll build him a statue sooner.
All right, we've got time for a couple more. If you've got a Big Bash question, feel free to raise your hand. Dan, I'm holding out hope here.
No, Mitch, I was going to say, you do look resplendent in magenta, and it's been a long time since you've been able to wear the colours. In terms of the competition's future and trying to create a window for Test guys to be able to play more, where do you stand on that? I mean, there's obviously balance to be struck between the various formats, but would you like to see more a window created, potentially the rejigging of the summer to a degree, or the FTP? Do you have a general view on that conundrum?
My only view on it, I'm fine with BBL windows. The only view I have on it is the Test cricket schedule is not to be touched. Test cricket is the pinnacle. I don't think Test cricket should make way for T20 cricket at all, whether it's the BBL, the IPL, anything. The Test summer is the Test summer. I would hate to see that change for domestic cricket. So that is not a snipe at anyone. That's just my opinion of Test cricket and where it sits on my priority list. Whether you move the Big Bash into a smaller window and play back-to-back, it's T20 cricket. It's not as physically demanding as Test cricket. So I know they've shortened the schedule already. I think that's been a positive impact. I know there's whispers and murmurings around whether there's more teams or whether the window changes. That's for the people that are paid the big dollars at Cricket Australia to make those decisions, and we don't have much say in it. But yeah, in terms of your question, my only opinion on it is Test cricket stays where it is and as it is.
Thank you.
Any last takers? David, we'll make this the last one.
Thanks. Yeah. Look, just a related question, I suppose, Mitch. I think you said you're playing one Shield match before the first Test. Would you like to see the Test players playing more Shield cricket?
I think some are. I think it is, we're obviously dealt the hand that we have, the schedule hand as we are, and we know that a lot of our players are multi-format players. So in terms of the schedule, I think obviously the priority is the Test series, and that is different players are going to be at different preparation stages. I can only speak on my preparation schedule, and to give my body a bit of extra time, and to obviously there's this whole discussion of workloads in the background and what may, but I would have had to be bowling a lot sooner to have been available for this Shield game they just played in Perth, which would have meant a lot smaller gap of time off from bowling. Obviously, we have multi-format players, so we have an ODI series, and then there's a T20 series. So then you weigh up whether guys are missing games for Australia to prepare for the red ball game. And again, there's going to be different preparation stages, different opinions from players and staff. And obviously, Cameron Green was one that opted to play a red ball game. And then we have that T20 series leading into the Test summer. So whether that means guys miss games for Australia to play Shield cricket, I think Josh Hazlewood said something the other day about not being happy about missing games for Australia, but opting for a red ball preparation game instead. So it's a delicate one with the schedule, and obviously we saw a few of the Test players play this first round of Shield cricket. So yeah, there's no easy answer, and you're not going to keep everyone happy, and there's no one size fits all. But yeah, for me, it's one Shield game and then a Test series. There's been summers where we haven't been able to play at all because of the schedule and the three formats. So it changes year on year.